Hi, I'm Lisa.
And I'm Vincent.
In this video, we're going to talk about how you can actually start to become debt-free. The first step in becoming debt-free is to calculate your spending habits and all of your debt. If you haven't seen our first video, you may want to check that video out. We talk about our own debt-free journey and we go over all of the steps that we're going to be covering in these next few videos.
So, the very first thing you want to do is really take some time to get a good understanding of your personal spending habits, as well as the total amount of debt that you have. So, when we first started this journey, we had never really tracked or monitored what we were spending each month, nor had we ever calculated the total amount of debt that we had. All we really looked at was, the monthly payments that we were making, right? And so as long as we could afford that, we felt good. But when we actually calculated the total amount of debts that we had, as well as where we were spending our money, we realized that one, we needed to make a change, and that we could actually make that change.
Right. And to kind of calculate your spending habits, how much is going out each month, something that you want to do if you use your card for everything, you can just pull your bank statement from the previous month and all of your numbers can come from there. If you use cash or you use a combination of cash and cards, what you may want to do is to start on the first of the month and track it for the next total month after that. Or if we're in the middle of the month and you want to start now, you can track it over the next 30 days, whatever works best for you. But you want to get the most accurate picture of what you're actually spending each month.
And as you're tracking those expenses or taking a look at them, you want to start assigning categories to each expense. Some common categories include gas, groceries. If you're going out to eat, you have a restaurant category. You have your housing category for rent or mortgage payment. You'll also have a miscellaneous category. And so for us, a lot of our Amazon purchases went into the miscellaneous category because they didn't really fit anywhere else. That immediately told us, hey, we can cut that out, right? That's an easy place to cut. But you want to get those categories in place because they're going to help you a lot when it comes time to create your monthly budget, which is actually going to be the next video that we put out soon.
Right. And so you want to kind of calculate all of your debt as well. And so all of your debt are going to be things that you know that you haven't paid off yet. So there's some common categories that we'll talk about in terms of what your debts are.
Yeah, and so some of those common debt categories also are car note,
Student
student
loans,
loans, credit card bills,
medical
medical bills.
bills.
Yeah,
Mhm.
all those things are very common. Most Americans have those types of debts. But then there's also some uncommon debts that come up that we may not consider a debt. We may not think about it as much, but they are considered debts.
Right. So one example of that could be your cell phone. If that's not something we think about, because a lot of times it is included in a monthly bill. But if you look at your bill and you remember that you still are paying off that device, that counts as a debt as well, because it's something you haven't paid off yet. So definitely cell phone, any technology device that you haven't paid off. You may have a tax bill that you owe. You may owe a family member or a friend some money, and that's not something that maybe you pay on every month. So consider that as well. Anything that's still lingering out there counts as debt.
Yeah, and so once you've gotten your spending habits together and you know where you're spending your money, you know what debts you have, you might be filled with a number of emotions, right? Some of those emotions are, wow, this is a lot. I don't know if I can do this. Or it can be, okay, I can see where I can start paying some of these debts down. Either way, you want to take this time to really reflect on everything that you've gathered, right? This moment, right? Reflect on what's going to motivate you to actually go through this journey. We had each other through this journey, and so we were able to talk during our monthly budget meetings and our weekly budget check-ins. We were able to talk through things and discuss our hurdles. But you may have to find an accountability partner, someone else who can go on this journey alongside you. Whatever it is, figure out what's going to keep you motivated, to accomplish this goal.
Definitely. And something that we also practice throughout our debt free journey, and we still practice even though we are debt free, is the concept of delayed gratification, pretty much meaning that you take time to think about something before you purchase it. So if it's something that you see in the store or you see online, you put it in your cart if it's online, or you see it and you immediately want to buy it like you would have before you started this journey. You take that time to sleep on it. Take a day or two, think about, do I need this right now? Is it still something that is lingering in your mind? Sometimes it won't even be something you remember that you wanted to buy, because we're so used to spending money. We're so used to those spending habits. And so even besides those big ticket items that you have to think about, you also want to think about experiences that you could cut back on or change the way that you have those experiences, right? So if you go to a lot of birthday parties, birthday dinners, or family gatherings where you usually would have to go out to a restaurant, you're paying for your food and drink and anything else you have to pay gratuity to your service people and all of that. And so think about all of those little things that go into that experience. Maybe you don't go to every birthday dinner you get invited to, or maybe you find a way to spend less when you go to that event, or you go on a vacation, or you plan things to happen at a later time, so you can really focus on your debt-free journey first.
So we hope that you all take this time to really get a good understanding of your spending habits as well as the total amount of debt that you have. It's going to be extremely helpful when we talk about creating the budget, which again is going to be our next video. So if you haven't already, make sure that you hit the like button, subscribe, and if you have any questions, go ahead and put those in the comment box. We definitely want to answer them for you. We'll see you all in our next video. Peace.